see whether or not they both run really roam heavy games of style of games on this map, because this map's huge. There's so much you can do with it. There's so much verticality options as well, and I'd like to see them manipulate that. And I think these are the teams to do it. So let's see how we go. And there we go. We were talking about it, James. We were talking exactly about some off bans, and there it is. And I don't like it. You know why? Because the IQ player of NSG is not playing tonight.
Yeah, but it's definitely still a part of their lineup, right? And you would
Mhm.
assume that the sub is either going to fill that role or fill a different role so that someone else can go on that role. So, and I feel like North Sea isn't exactly the kind of team that's going to completely change their strat, just because they have a sub playing that they're going to
Mhm.
try and run the same stuff. But yeah, IQ and Blackbeard both banned out early. That's definitely interesting. I'm really wondering what NSG's defense ban is here. I'm gonna guess it's probably an Echo since the IQ was banned and they start on the attack. But it could also be a mirror. I think Echo and
Mhm.
mirror is kind of more the order I'm thinking of here. And yeah, it is going to be the Echo.
I still think, given what we saw from T3H last week on Border, I still think casters watch this ban. I actually was going to say that they will ban a mirror,
I was gonna say mirror as well, but now I'm
but now
interested.
I'm.
Nah, come on. I can't believe we got baited like that.
We
That's
actually got baited,
ridiculous.
James. We got baited.
I'm ignoring the chat from now on.
I'm never listening to the chat ever again because the bait was super real there. I was just saying
That's fine.
they let Miriam play last week on Border. They didn't play it once. So I clearly think they don't want to play with a mirror. And I'm sure NSG knows how to play with a mirror, especially on Cafe. So after that little bit of a bait there, I actually thought they might go with like some ridiculous ban. But here we are going into it. We'll start T3H on defense. That's going to give them a leg up, if any at all. And we'll have NSG on attack. And not a surprise here. We've got the Thatcher, the Ash, the Buck, Sophia, and Thermite. And on defense, we've got Canary running the cap cam, but she's going to 6-pick off that one for the Valkyrie. Super smart one there. There is no IQ in play. So these Valk cams will stay quite hidden if she places them correctly.
Yeah. There's definitely interesting spots to put a cam here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna go into specifics because there's thing that I use in ranked and I don't want people to know. But
Safe that you know, James.
yeah,
Safe
exactly, right? You don't like ranked's pretty intense this season, so I gotta save it. But there's just like a lot of spots because a lot of the floor is destructible for like pre-placed nitros and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially this double door walk-in from cigar into piano. Like that's definitely one of the spots where if you can see it, it's an easy pre-placed.
Absolutely. Mind you, good drones will spot out, especially the sound that a C4 makes, the beeps that it makes. So I'm hoping that NSG is droning effectively. Last week, we saw them drone probably one of the teams who droned the most out of all the teams we'd watched last week. So I'd be worried if I didn't see them droning again, because that was one of their strengths going into their game last week. But looking at the setup of T3H, it looks like they want to try and extend their hold out into piano. And if that's going to be their hold, they're going to go up against some heavy gunfire here. They've got the Thatcher, they've got the Thermite to try and get piano walls open, but they're going to go up against the brick wall that is Midnight on the Jaeger.
So it goes down. I think T3H could play a very aggressive roam game coming out here. I think they've kind of proven that before on Border, where they're kind of just holding stuff aggressively, especially like CC hold coming out from Canary last time. So, you know, I guess we'll see how this is all going to go down, but this isn't really a map that you can play roam heavy on unless that you have some sort of utility downstairs. So I'm not really sure if a Jaeger roaming downstairs could be great, unless it's in the early stages where you can still go for runouts.
We'll see whether Midnight makes or takes advantage of that, but you can see NSG are all positioned on the roof, every single one of them. A wayward C4 might be able to take out a couple of them from one of these hatches, but no one's there to be able to deliver. And in fact, playing over in the tight peak corner is Canary on the Valkyrie. No ACOG there. No ACOG's being run. And you can see North Sea. They're trying to work out exactly how they want to push this. And it looks like a pinch push is how they're going to go about it.
Yeah, it does look like that. Valcams are going to get shut out, however. Canary still playing very aggressively up into this white stairs window. We'll see exactly how that's going to go down. Everyone's getting ready for a push, but Aztek's going to start to shut it down. Lemon goes down. The sub player for NSG is going to be removed early on. Now a 5v4 situation, as drones are going to start to go out. North Sea still holding on tightly, but they really need to deal with that Maestro at Heaven if they really want to deal with any of this other defense.
They've made their way into Piano. All they need is a nade over there. I'm not sure if there is an accompanying ADS to save Canary's life in that corner. The nade will go off, and she will get downed. And poor Aztec, not aware of the verticality underneath. That was perfect by Ashley. The nade will come out, and in fact, they aren't able to collect the kill onto Canary. All Izzy needs to do is hold the angle and use the bait, but poor Kalisa is not aware that she was downed, and Disaster's going to be able to use both of her thermite charges, so this is really good utility use, but they need to speed it up with only 30 seconds left.
It's a really bad position that T3H are in right now because they've got two people locked up in Whitehall to try and do something there. They've lost their power player position up onto Heaven, so this is not looking good for them at all to try and stop a plant going down early on. Smoke's going to go out, however, from Lure. That should be able to stop any progress up into Freezer and Bar. 15 seconds left to go on the clock. Things actually starting to tick away for North Sea. Let's see if they can do something here. Disaster starts to push in, but Midnight Canary both pick up kills of their own. Ashley actually into the site now, having repelling through Heaven. It's all down to her. She takes out Lewis. She tries to find 3 more if she can, but the time is against her. She finds Izzy, but can't find 2 more. And T3H take round number 1, but almost a disaster for them at the end. I think if that had been a little bit quicker, that would have gone much, much better.
I definitely worry for NSG there. They looked like they weren't, shout out to their support players who got in, got the walls open, but it just wasn't quick enough. Like you said, it didn't look like they were confident enough to get in there to take the picks that they needed. And of course, T3H were in really open positions a lot of the time. You know, we didn't have an ADS accompanying Canary in the corner, so she was able to be naded. She was able to get picked up by Izzy in the end, but there were a lot of open positions that NSG could have taken advantage of and alas didn't. So that was to their detriment. And 6 pick off the Zofia onto Jacqueline from Kavera onto Mozzie will be featured in both teams there. And I don't think that will be anywhat helpful for the side of NSG at least. I think not having the Zofia will be really detrimental, because then they're just going to rely on the buff and the ash to be able to get verticality, and that if they are the entry fraggers, they could get picked off too early.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like, having your entries go in and just get picked immediately, that could be a bit of a disaster for you. But like, as long as you're kind of like bunch, like North Sea definitely play like really close there. As long as you can kind of like trade your entries, that in some way done their job. I think like a lot of people get this wrong about comp, that it is okay to die as long as you do your job. I think a lot of people kind of get mixed up in the KDs of it, but like, an entry dying is a very normal thing to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, as long as they fulfill their roles, you're absolutely right. And looks like Lua is going to be the one to undertake the role of intel collection now on this round. And you could see these cams being thrown around in really odd spots. You know, a lot of them actually being featured underneath things. A good drone will spot those out really quickly is the trouble, as drones obviously are centered on the floor. So I do worry about those valve cams not being as effective as they could be, because drones are likely to spot them out. But you'll see all of NSG make their way up onto the roof, except for one, and that'll be Aria, who drones out below to make sure that there is no one featuring in bakery run out or anything like that. No one's there for her, so she should be pretty confident, but a hot drone will assist the team getting that top floor control, and looks like Midnight and Canary will be the top floor hold.
What was that about? Shoot the phase and somehow that helps your team with the droning, I guess?
Yeah, so it actually hides the drone in the debris, which is a very smart way of doing it, and I kind of like that. So I'm not sure if that was their point of that, but yeah, a lot of people hide drones in debris now, which I think is a really cool way of going about it. So
I guess it's like kind of going both ways, because it is client-sided, so it's kind of like a, but yeah, I appreciate the theory behind it. But I guess we'll go further into round number 2. It's about halfway through now, and we'll see exactly how that is now starting to go down. as that top floor control is definitely going to the favor of North Sea, but Canary still holding down to Freezer, and we still got Midnight up on Heaven. Let's see what she can do. So it's still like loads of control for T3H here. Like there hasn't actually been that much pushing going on. But obviously for this, I think all you really need though is control of Piano. You don't need control of the rest of it, that engine push.
Yeah, hopefully NSG just lock themselves up, but they're actually going to open up lines of sight onto themselves, which is detrimental, but they're going to take the pick anyway. That's going to leave Midnight by herself upstairs. She's going to see one, but she doesn't connect the shots, and she's going to get taken out. A good pistol swap there by Aria. It leaves her on 25 HP, but that secures the top 4 for her team. They've got less than a minute left, but a lot of lit players, and unless T3H are able to make some picks now, they might find themselves. Oh god, I thought that C4 might connect.
Well, apparently not. Izisa going to be holding down onto Dining, however, and that's still holding the prone angle with the ACOG, but oh, she's going to miss! And she gets shut down from Ashley, who just managed to pick up a double kill on the Rats. Now, all down to the sub-player of Izzy to try and bring this in. Plant is going to come down. Disaster is going to be planting that down. Ash tries to come through to try and make it a little bit easier on that first plant, as they just have so much control. But Izzy finds one, and goes Aria, tries to find the second. Oh, the reload comes through the wrong way, and there's almost the knife from the Ash, but no, it is going to be Izzy finds the knife back, but NSG still take the round. Ashley with the triple killer.
Good attempted retake there, but Ashley, that 6-pick onto the Jackal that I had initially spoken down, I take that back in all of its entirety. She was able to make some verticality with her secondary ITA, and then she frags out, so clearly her operator of choice there, and whether or not she features it again, she will. And an awkward mirror there being called out, I believe. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Midnight's name is Mirror, so do not confuse it with the actual in-game operator Mirror. Her name is also Mirror, so I believe that's what's going on there. But they will go downstairs into kitchen. This kind of hold can be tricky, especially because I'm not seeing a wall denial, James. I am not seeing any wall denial whatsoever being featured by T3H. And if I'm going to predict this round already, I'm going to say that what T3H are hoping is that they can do a bakery hold and completely stop the push. But if NSG decide to go fireplace, or they decide to go white stairs, there's nothing that T3H can do.
There's also no Valkyrie, which is kind of interesting given the fact that they've ran a Valkyrie. Like, the only intel that they actually have is those Maestro cams. I'm assuming they don't have a bulletproof cam from either Jaeger or Doc. So I guess we'll see. No, Jaeger has banned as top wire. Oh. There is a bulletproof from Canary. Okay, so like this is really one of those sites. So if you're gonna do that kind of hold that you're talking about, you need a lot of intel to try and pull it off, because you're gonna have to do like those burnouts. You're gonna have to try and hold things aggressively. If you don't know where you're gonna aim at, it's hard to do things aggressively. So we'll see what they want to do. I think North Sea has been pretty coordinated so far themselves. They have a really good idea of what kind of push they want to do. They've been really playing as a team. Like, they're not overextending. They're taking the control that they need to take in order to do the side push. There was a little bit mistiming, I think, in that first round. But other than that, like, the second round was absolutely flawless from them.
It does look like NSG want to commit to the full roam clear. Midnight will be up here. She does look like she is alone, so if she is pinched from both white and skylight area, she will find herself in a pickle very quickly. But I think NSG, by the look of their positioning, do want to do a bakery take. And I am worried that if T3H don't have the wall denial that they need to stop this, they're not going to be able to do it. And they actually did reinforce all of bakery. So now all NSG need to do is get in and open this up. Disaster's going to open up the right of small, and then she will go and open up the bakery wall. And this puts T3H in a huge pickle.
It definitely does, but Canary's starting to strike back. Actually going to go down very early on. Definitely would have been the stronger entries coming out. And that is your smokes off of the board as well from North Sea. So not a great start for them, even though they do have those walls open. They do need to. But that prep window is actually castled. So it allows them to play around that quite well. There is an Ash on the board, however, but we do see Midnight creeping around up through mining down red to try and go for that flank maneuver. But as I said, like, North Sea aren't really overextending here, but that could be their downfall. You got to take risks sometimes.
Absolutely, and now that they've got the walls open, we still have a Thatcher, and that's going to be able to get rid of those Legion mines, those Maestro cams, and You can see Lua playing right up against the castle there. She's trying to deny multiple angles here. And Ari is trying to move her way in behind A bomb. Disaster has the diffuser. And all of the rest of her teammates are holding angles to make sure that she's able to move in. But aggressiveness from T3H not going to pay off. Canary's going to get picked off the board. That's the long angle that I think was denying that door entry where Aria is. Disaster creeps on in. Surely someone's on the Maestro camp. Surely someone's calling this. The flank is covered. Midnight's not able to do her job. Lemon takes a pick, and oh, it's all up to Aztec.
Aztec now in a 1v3 to try and see what she can do. She has got the Maestro. She has done pretty good at it across both weeks of their play. We'll see how exactly they can do with it. Flying Watch drone is going to go down, but she's going to be aware someone is flying watching. Not aware they're prone in the corner, and they're going to go down. North Sea take round up 3. And I think, yeah, just absolute textbook, exactly what you said they were going to do. They didn't overextend at all. They completely forced their way through Bakery, and yeah, absolutely really well played by North Sea.
Good night in chat, and actually that replacement by Buck, because she knew that the call out would come out that she was outside the window, so instead she jumped in and proned on the ground. That's some beautiful game sense there to change up her positioning. We will have T3H taken out. I definitely knew from the beginning of that round, if T3H weren't going to run wall denial and they weren't going to do a Bakery hold, then they were going to lose that round. The moment you have that wall and Bakery open and you have someone holding the small, and I actually don't know what the common call of it is, that small Bakery area there, that line of sight down small Bakery there, that's when it's all over for the defensive, because you can't flank, you can't retake, you just have to take engagements. And when their ACOG lost that battle, I think it was all over for T3H then.
Well, T3H held this top floor successfully last time. Let's see if they can do it again. But I think North Sea had a really good idea of what they wanted to do. I think there's the timing, which is a little bit off. The rappel into heaven and the push onto the opposite side is definitely the right way to do this, especially if you've taken that Maestro down into heaven, which is why I said it was so critical that you need to do that. You take that Maestro. So, assuming that all goes the right way again, we'll definitely see how it is going to be going down.
I like these Maestro cams from Aztec. She's a very well-known Maestro player in the EU scene, so it's not a surprise to me that she's pretty much maining that on every single map that we've seen her play thus far. Possibly being coined, at least that I'm seeing on social media, being coined one of the best female Maestro players in EU. Don't know if she's going to be able to cap that one for much longer. We've seen some other great Maestro players in the league thus far, but NSG, methodical in the way that they go about this, always making their way to roof. But Lua's got a great cam on these players, and I think she'll be feeding a lot of this intel to Midnight.
So, right before getting underway, we'll see exactly how it's going to go down. But Midnight on the roam is just going to get caught out instantly by the surprise player of Lemon, who's subbing in for Miss Marie here. And doing a damn fine job of it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to sub in for a player, especially if you haven't been part of the main lineup who's scrimming. You're just essentially coming in for one game and hoping that you fit well enough with the synergy, the comms, and everything to partake. It does look like they've moved around roles ever so slightly to accommodate her as well. So that's really good. But the IQ ban, I think, may have been something she would have needed to have played, like you said. So good to see her take the roam clearing role quite seriously and do it quite well as well. So good pick, but it's not over yet for T3H in this round. See NSG now finally trying to... Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful Ash. That's going to take Aztec out of her position there, and that's going to completely push her out of heaven. That's a beautiful Ash.
Yeah, and that's exactly how Aztec did last time as well. That she was playing up on a position where she could get vertical play from. It got opened up, and she got shut down for it, but... So far, so good. Aztec still up, however, 5v4 situation. And she definitely in their favor right now. They definitely have everything they need to go for a push. It looks like the Valkyrie wants to try and rotate down here. Like Lua wants to try and drop down Laundry and potentially go for a C4 play from below.
I hope she does, because that would be the best way to counter this one. I think she might be wondering whether or not someone is pushing from the bottom of white, which there is someone in reading, so she is aware of someone down there, and she's able to pick them off. That was Ashley on the Jackals, so that's great knowledge there that she knew someone was down there, whether or not that was a belt cam or not. You see Aztec here playing really dangerously on heaven. She's really open to a lot of shots there. And finally, with a mere 30 seconds left, the wall will get open to Piano. Canary trying to challenge the Ash here, and she may very well be outgunned. You can see Lemon pre-firing everything. This is so aggressive. They know she's here, and she's able to take her off guard. This is beautiful play by T3H, and there's only 20 seconds left, so the over here will come out, and all T3H need to do is hold angles.
15 seconds.
Yeah, complete shutdown here coming up from Canary. She picks up a 2K on the run around. Khaleesi goes down. Easy picks up 1. It's all down to Aria to try and bring this in. The pre-fires are coming down, but 5 seconds left to go on the clock, and she just cannot make it happen. She goes down. Aztec takes her out. And T3H check runner before, still successfully holding onto that top floor. But you got to do a little bit more than that if you want to be successful in Cafe.
A little bit of banter and chat there between these teams. If you guys don't know why the banter is there, these two teams are quite friendly with each other outside of games. So I think they've built up quite a rivalry between Northsea and T3H, both of these orgs being rival orgs. And I think that's what they're trying to build up here, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see them having a little bit of banter and chat, but it's 2 apiece. So I think both teams are able to throw a little bit of shade left, right, and center here because both teams are putting in the work here. It does look like Northsea's a little bit on the back foot, but the round count isn't reminiscent of that. So I definitely think T3H have the upper hand ever so slightly, but that's what defense is like on a map like Cafe.
Yeah, no, you are right.
Yeah, we'll go down to
I'm kind of surprised we're going back here, considering how this is kind of considered to be the worst site on Cafe in a lot of ways. Like, this engine room is so hard to hold down to. I generally say, like, any site that has a window that goes directly into site from outside is generally a bad site.
Yeah, and there's multiple on both sides.
Yeah, on both sides.
There's 2 windows that have direct access on the site from the outside, and I am also not a fan of those kind of sites. I mean, that's why you see things like Frost being played. You know, those are the kind of times you see those off-meta operators run as well. So, not a surprise that they've got the Mozzie and the Maestro. Those kind of key intel operators. Again, would have liked to see the Valkyrie. I think it's a really key player on this kind of map, and you can play pretty safely down in Bakery. It's really hard to clear someone downstairs more than it is upstairs because you don't have the opportunity nor the time to take both downstairs and upstairs because you need vertical control from upstairs. So would have liked to have seen them do that, but we'll see a big top 4 roam here from T3H.
Yeah, it's kind of what they were doing last time. I think the big issue with this roam though is that even if you have control of Freezer and Cocktail and Heaven and everything like that, that's great and all. But NSG probably recognize you don't actually need that control to push out. You only need Piano, really. Like, you need Piano, and you need Cigar, and you just need to hold down those areas, and then you can push quite freely, because that's all the vertical play that they actually need. But Ari is going to take out Canary anyway.
I believe that was from Skylight as well. I think she was... Ladies and gentlemen, excuse that, the censorship in the making there, but you know, we had that rotate there. I believe that was actually made by the defenders because they wanted a flank opportunity. So I think someone from down or red will want to try and make a flank at some point. That's why that's opened up in that position, but the attackers would have opened that anyway, so there was no need for them to impact that. That would have been opened eventually. So yeah, I think NSG are feeling a lot more comfortable in this round. They're looking for Midnight. I think they know there's another roamer, of course, always accompanying Canary upstairs, but they don't need to extend themselves too far, and Midnight's rotated all the way down.
Yeah, I'm not sure this roam game has really been that effective from T3H. I mean, the flank watching has been really good from NSG. They both had flank watch drones and flank watchers up, and they haven't got flanked once. The only successful attacks they've had is where they've had to face T3H head on, and they haven't been able to pick any roamers up. So, like, if anything, this T3H roam is going against them, and it's kind of what we saw last game as well, where the roam really just wasn't working out.
Absolutely. Midnight waiting patiently in the bottom of white. I think she's going to use it as an opportunity to do a late flank, and that's exactly what she'll need to do because NSG are taking their time. They've got a lot of vertical control, but it hasn't really paid dividends for them, and Lewis hiding in the back of Fireplace with an ACOG. I think Ari is just going to jump in through the window. I don't think they have enough intel to know if this is going to be effective or not. Lemon finally taking a pick. This looks like a pinch push, but Midnight will trade back onto Disaster, and now they're in. They need to get the play down. Fuse is down on red, and they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to run for it. They've only got 5 seconds left. The cover needs to come out from NSG for this to work.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be starting to come out. Izzy's just below. She's just giving up. Midnight, however, is still fighting the good fight as the diffuser has gone down successfully. Not sure what's going on with Izzy here, but Midnight is attempting to fight a 1v3 right now as the book is starting to get opened up. Izzy's finally back in the fight, has managed to try and rotate up red. It looks like they have a little bit of info, very wary about the window that is open, however, and the crossfires have now been established. Izzy trying to play on her own here to try and refrag, but no from the window! She's going to get shut down. This is unfortunate as Midnight tries to score a kill, does manage to get the kill, but doesn't manage to get the round.
Looks like there was an issue with Izzy there and her ping skyrocketed up. And there we go. She's got 800 ping at the moment. So looks like she's having a connection issue. We'll throw it back to our beautiful faces, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, again, I am being outdone by James Sturner Parkinson, but we won't mention it. We won't, we won't throw it out there, James. I think everyone has 2 eyes and a brain. And
hopefully.
If you don't, I hope our voices have been reminiscent enough of what excitement we're seeing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 3rd matchup of our CCS R6W. Jess, Sternab, we're here bringing it to you live. Our 2nd play day. It's only our 2nd play day, and we're already seeing a really good matchup. We did expect this to be one of the highlight games of the night. Of course, we had that off-stream game of Team Queens, one of the favorites as well, and they were able to take that out dominantly against Hellside 7-0. That VOD will be available on YouTube later on, ladies and gentlemen. But so far, we're seeing a really good matchup between these teams.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by North Sea, honestly. Like, their roam clear has been great. Their post punt has been great. I think their mistiming just a little bit on that upstairs attack that potentially they could play a little bit more off the vertical play. But otherwise, like, their execution stuff, it is absolutely fine. They're playing Cafe exactly the way that you should be able to do it. I think the IQ ban on attack has kind of been throwing things off here a little bit as well, for T3H. That maybe that wasn't quite a ban that we expected to go through. T3H were the ones that banned it, of course, but with no echo on the board, I don't think it's really going to be affecting too much. North Sea, as you said, the classic IQ player that we did see from them isn't playing right now. She's playing in Benelux, Miss Marie. And her sub Lemon has done a great job on Ash entry, which is kind of a hard thing to do on Cafe as well. Just because there's a lot of long angles, and I think a lot of players, even though the R4C has lost its ACOG, they still run the R4C.
Yeah. I think a massive shout out to Lemon, sub of NSG. That's a hard thing to come in. A lot of nerves as well, because you're expected to do quite well, even if you're not part of the main lineup that is sort of rocked by it. So great for her to be able to run such a dominant roam clear. She's been quite great. Even if she's been doing a little bit of solo roam clear, she's been doing a really good job of it. So that's really good to see. But I think both of these teams putting up round after round, back and forth, it shows how equally skilled both of them are. Again, though, Cafe is a defensive sided map. So I do worry for T3H because they are losing rounds that they possibly shouldn't have. And NSG are taking advantage of those. That round in Fireplace there, I argue they should have been, they played downstairs. So yeah, I think they may have misplayed that one. They may have positioned themselves on the top floor roam as well. I think if you're gonna hold top floor and you're going to, because you need to, you're right, NSG, no, we only need piano. We only need cigar. We don't need all that other area because it's irrelevant for our verticality. And that's exactly where the defenders are trying to hold, rather than pushing themselves up deep onto piano, maybe holding in the pixel peak and maybe holding over on New Hatch. That kind of aggressiveness would work better for T3H, but they just haven't been doing it, I think.
Yeah. There's so many mistakes coming out from T3H, but I think the big one is that this roam game just hasn't been effective at all there. Like, a big reason for playing a roam game here is so that you play your utility downstairs and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see how it's going to go down and how T3H is going to adapt. I'm particularly interested in how T3H want to be doing when they move on to their attacks as well, because Cafe is just all about how well you're attacking. We did already talk about that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's such a hard map to attack on if you don't have the strategy set out. Things like the Thermite on the side of NSG has been doing her job round after round. Even if she hasn't been getting the pick, she's been absolutely dominating her support role. She's been getting the walls open. She's been making sure the lines of sight have been opened. And you can't ask more of a support player than that. Quite possibly, she could undertake some more droning, some more intel collection. But that's a brilliant way of going about it. So there's some really good role specialization on the side of North Sea. They've just been too slow. And we spoke about Cafe being a huge map. It's a hard one to make time efficiency part of your strategy. So I think a lot of teams, even at tier 1, struggle with that. So you can see it taking a toll on these girls as well.
Yeah. I hope like going forward we'll see how that is going to be working out. I think NSG, like, other than that top floor take, which was kind of all over the place, they're pretty good at kind of like managing their time and like pushing where they actually want to push and stuff like that. But there's been a lot of time where it's kind of just out there, if you know what I mean. Like T3H is essentially giving them a lot of space to work with and giving them a lot of picks on the roam. But like North Sea, when they attack that top floor, they don't have those picks on the roam, and I think that's a big reason why they're not able to be successful there. We are going to be heading back into it. North Sea Gaming heading into the round number 6. They're up 3-2 right now. This is looking really good for them.
Yeah, I think for NSG, when you're on this kind of half, and especially on attack, if they win this round, I do see a really positive game coming out for them, because if they are switching on to defense, we've seen their ability to use utility quite strongly on defense. I would say last week, I saw them being a little bit more dominating on defense some rounds, more coordinated, I'll say. But their coordination this week is showed strong. So looks like we will have T3H calling out some donuts there. In fact, James, that makes me hungry. God, I could use a really good donut right now, I'll be honest.
Don't talk to me about food. Always wait until after a cast to eat.
I'm feeling it.
That's really not going to do me well now. I'm trying to mentally block it out.
My goodness. But both teams in the lobby picking their operators. It does look like Izzy. And was that the player that timed out before with the ping, or was that someone else?
Yeah, it was Izzy. She had a really high ping. Hopefully she loads in.
Hopefully.
But while that does happen, we do see Hard Breach Janelle coming through now, which was something that was lacking the last time we went to Kitchen here for T3H in the form of a mute. I don't know how effective it's going to be, because last time they thermited open prep. I know you call it small, but I prefer the northwest room as small.
Yep.
And this room is prep.
Yep.
What I say. So like they thermited open the right side of prep, and then they thermited open the main cooking place from the bakery.
Yeah, I mean that was so quick too.
Yeah. So like maybe it'll do well to try and deny that, but there's a Thatcher up, and that's just going to be taken by NSG. I think they're just going to go for the same push they did last time.
5 seconds remaining.
Like, they have a bandit. I'm not sure if the bandit's going to be able to successfully bandit trick this or not, because last time also they did go above and just booked it all out, and that was pretty successful.
Yeah, I think if Lua does commit to the bandit trick on that wall, which would be, and you can see it actually positioned there, that's really good. I think that might be something that she does really well with. A beautiful drone by Lemon up on the top there. That's going to give her complete information as to whether anyone's peeking from prep or from small. No one's holding bakery. They're aware of this. The police is going to make her way up to top floor to see whether or not she can get some verticality happening like you spoke about. So all the Thatcher needs to do is literally throw one EMP from the double doors out the front, and the mute jam is gone. But that's why Lua is going to be so instrumental on this bandit trick if she's going to stop them opening up this line of sight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if that does indeed go through. They are going to be able to open up prep regardless of all of that happening. Canary will be playing very aggressively around into the situation right now. She could actually get away with a little bit here, because I don't think... Okay, so Lemon's now positioning herself to try and watch that as Disaster goes to the Thermite. Canary is going to be pretty brave if she does go for anything there. Lua attempts to go for the bandit trick, but no, she's going to miss it. That is not good. And that might be round loss right there.
I really agree with you there, James. That is going to be so detrimental for T3H. She feels pressured. She's going to toss out a C4, I believe, as well, and Now NSG are in such good positions here. That wall got open with no
Attackers have located a bomb.
ability for Lua to even make any impact with her bandit charges. Now NSG have a leg up on this one, and if I'm Midnight right now, I'm hoping I get this buck at the very least to stop the vertical control.
Yeah, potentially like Midnight is definitely going to be a bit crucial here to try and stop any vertical control coming through. But honestly, I don't think it's something that's really even that necessary at this point. They have everything they need. They could just definitely get up on the vertical control to stop any reactionary coming through. But there's not really a huge amount of plant denial coming out. Nitro has already come out from Lua. Canary does still have a Nitro of her own, but that's just about all she wrote for T3H. I mean, if they manage to get in, then I don't think there's anything that T3H can really do to stop them from planting.
Midnight actually was lit up by the Zofia, who was watching for her to flank upstairs. This is beautiful adaptation by NSG. They knew that she would do that. They held the angles, and that's super effective. Canary's going to come zooming out with the shotgun. She's going to take out Lemon. This aggressive positioning here is beautiful, but there's a buck above her. Ari's going to challenge. Khaleesi's going to take the verticality off of her hands instead, and Lewis here without a C4 and a bunch of holes being opened up above her. And if I'm Midnight right now and I've got 15 seconds left, you got to make your way back to side, girlfriend.
Ashley could be able to make that entry. Is he going to go down? But immediately traded up by Lure onto Disaster. Let's defuse it down as well. As Midnight makes her own play, it's not looking good. North Sea are falling apart right now. It's a 2v2. Let's defuse have gone down. It's holding Khaleesi to try and make some kills. But no, he doesn't have enough time. T3H take the round, and Aztec with a quick team kill right there at the end. That's unfortunate.
Oh my goodness. That was a round to be reckoned with. What actually went wrong there is the diffuser, I think, where they were trying to plant it was the incorrect positioning for where the plant needed to go down. Had they have tucked themselves into the L shape of the cooking bench there, the little prep bench there, I think they would have gotten away with the plant. Instead, Canary was able to move herself up all the way up into prep and take the shot onto Lemon, and then everyone turned around, and that's when the panic plant came out in the incorrect position. So unfortunately for Khaleesi, who was meant to be above to hold the post plant position, she was in the right spot. She had everything she needed. She wasn't able to make her way down to site quick enough to assist with that. So such a shame for NSG. Everything was ready to go, but the execution failed.
Defused by attackers.
Yeah. Right after them getting the way, we will see a kitchen service entrance defense coming through. There's not any wall denial from NSG either. I'm definitely interested in how they want to do this, though. It looks like they are going to go for that heavy bakery hold, though. From the looks of things, especially the castle being brought here. I think the castle's definitely interesting. I'm going to guess that they're going to castle the small door and potentially the prep door as well.
Remaining.
Potentially the prep window. I mean, that was something that T3H were doing as well to try and deny that angle.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, I actually, as soon as I saw the castle, I knew that that's part of NSG's game plan, is to hold Bakery really strongly. They've got that wall reinforced. I hope they've, and they actually don't have any wall denial there, so that might even just get opened up by the Habana, or the Thermite actually, because they're not rocking a Habana here. So if they want to be able to get that open and take Bakery control, they need to get that small room opened up, but doesn't look like they're actually even pushing there at the moment. It looks like they're all going to top floor.
Yeah, lots of drones coming out here from T3H just across the board. Seeing what exactly kind of roam game there is, but they will not find any roam game right now. There's NSG playing pretty conservatively right now. And I think, honestly, that's kind of what you want to do on Kitchen anyway. I don't think there's really much point in heavy roaming, especially with the way that they were wanting to play this, like with the bakery hold.
I think a lot of utility, a lot of reinforcements goes into a bakery hold. I love that Lemon's hiding here. I love this. It's not a commonly droned spot. It really is not. She has a drone of her own as well, so she has more than enough intel to know if anyone's pushing right, and she could quite favorably hold that on her own. You can see T3H now doing a top floor down push, and that's about half of the round taken with not much to show for it.
The multi-utility is kind of like a double-edged sword, because you're taking away utility from the attackers, but you're giving yourself utility as well. So definitely like very, really powerful. I think we've seen a lot of Mozzie mute combo or cafe in the past. So I'm glad to see Mozzie employed here by employed by North Sea. Looks like T3H aren't exactly wanting to push into Bakery at all. They just want to push upstairs completely. Canary does, however, manage to get her entry, and Lemon, as we did talk about it, does go down early on. And looks like it's going to be predominantly a freezer take coming out here from T3H.
James, this is insanely intelligent from T3H to just completely disregard Bakery and go straight for White Stairs and Freezer. That shot should have been a headshot, but it's not going to be. Canary's going to take the head off Disaster instead. She's all fired up, ready to go now. Arya desperately trying to make an aggressive push onto the Bakery breach, but in the Freezer breach, I should say. And a lot of the Bakery hold now has just gone out and is away.
Oh, actually, he's going to shut down Canary before she can push all the way through bar. And this freezer take not looking soon good for T3H. All of a sudden, Aztec going to try and rotate all the way around instead, as Arya still holding down onto kitchen service and seeing what kind of push can go down. Leisure Mind spread across freezer as well. T3H just don't have their entry right now. They really need to throw a Thatcher in here if they want to make any kind of progress. Has Ashley just made the progress here, but no, it's going to be an easy TK. Oh no, T3H with the TKs across the board right now as Ashley picks up yet another one. And it's just all over. Midnight just managed to find off one kill, but North Sea take round number 7. They hold on well, and things are looking really well for them.
That was such a flurry of a round. I think both teams feeling quite stressed after that one. T3H had the exact right idea. If you're going to put all your people, all your utility in Bakery, we're just going to go from top down and push onto White Stairs. What they didn't have, however, was, and it looks like we will have our production just quickly fix up a couple of tech issues, some quality issues. So you guys might be looking at our faces right now. It's I can't wink, James.
No, you can't wink.
I think I can. Wait.
Yeah.
That was a wink. Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I will get better at that one.
Okay.
Cool. That's reminiscent. But on that round specifically, I think for T3H, they had the right idea. They didn't execute it well. I would have liked to seen them like sort of pop the hatch, get a little bit more vertical control as well. That might have assisted them more so that people couldn't sit just outside of freezer and to antagonize them the way that Arya did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the freezer push was a good call from T3H, given the fact that they had control of VIP, they had control of the bar and hallway there as well, and freezer was free. I mean, they didn't have any kind of hard breach now, but their end game push was really bad there because you need to kind of have control of the hallway and the door onto service if you really want to make anything happen there, because that freezer is such a hell in a cell push. It's like a very small area you need to push through. You need to establish crossfire. Something that T3H were unable to do with Canary TK, so with the Canary shut down. So yeah,
absolutely.
We'll see how it goes down with the rest of this though.
Now, I believe production is telling me that they are looking back at the game. We're back in game. We should have a quality fixture happening. So you guys are now looking back at our 8th round, going into a little bit of a top 4 take here by T3H. Very, very strange that they looked outside for a Valk cam there, actually, considering we haven't seen a Valk run for quite a few rounds so far. So, and I like that Midnight does this, actually. She tries to open some of the hatch and look down through it before opening it fully, which I think is a really smart way of going about it. Izzy gets her drone stolen. And I'm not sure if we're seeing... Okay, we are seeing a client-sided glitch here. So that hatch looks closed to us, ladies and gentlemen, but it is open, at least fingers crossed. That C4 is just going to be timed incorrectly. In fact, it's on some of the hard part of the floor, and that's not going to collect anyone. So that's Mozzie's C4 out of commission. And now Bakery, in Piano, I should say, is in the control of T3H with over half the round left.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of control going into their favor now, and those Maestro cams are going to get spotted out so they can be dealt with appropriately. Hopefully by the Zofia of Canary as she does start to move her. Claymore going down onto red. I'm not a big fan of the Claymore going down there. I prefer it going down further onto like the half stairs bit, because you can also hide it because it's red stairs, right? And the whole lasers are red, and you can easily catch out someone with that. But that's the entry coming out from Midnight. Lemon is going to go down very early on. That Mozzie off the board. That is Nitro off the board as well. But we still have a pretty solid hold from North Sea right now. as nades are going to go very, very deep. EMPs go through, but it's going to be Kalisa who does pick up that easy kill onto Canary. Going to go down very early on. That's the entry gun, and no refrag coming out from T3H just yet. And also, this Maestro Cam's still up as well.
Yeah, that Maestro Cam might cause absolute havoc here. Lua, she's trying to open up the wall. She can't. She gets picked off by Aria, and that's a beautiful headshot. Aria's in such a dominating position here. Midnight needs to find her because she's doing absolute damage, but she can't because there's another one who defaults downstairs. That's Ashley.
Oh!
Oh, good night, Aztec. That's a beautiful headshot by the Jaeger there. And oh my goodness, there's wall bangs left and right.
Izzy's really doing the work right now as the double kill comes out for her favor. Now 2v1, however, 15 seconds left to go on the clock. She really needs to get deep in and try and do something here. Try and go through the rotate and wipe, but she gets the diffuser instead. Probably a smart call right now to try and plant the diffuser down, but the Maestro Cam is still up, and yeah, you can't plant through that. You're gonna go down for it, but no! The Maestro Cam gets overheated, but it's gonna be a kill regardless as Kalisa pushes up through the freezer, takes her down, and North take runner rate looking very comfortable here on Cafe.
Oh my goodness, North Sea looking like T3H are having a really strong early game, getting into piano, getting the walls open, getting everything they need, but then forgetting about the key pieces of utility that North Sea are absolutely gunning them with, and that's things like Maestro Cams, Mozzie drones, etc. They've been using them to their absolute greatest ability. And what I like about North Sea is that they're not overextending themselves. They're not being overly aggressive. They know they've got their cams. They're sitting in spots which are hiding themselves, but taking picks when they need to. And there's a couple of great headshots coming out from Izzy there. Izzy showing how her imposition in this team and this lineup has been really handy for the side of T3H.
This is just not looking good for them. I don't think they've been very coordinated. I'm not really sure if that was the smartest thing to do for Lua to try and... So, like, when you open up that wall, you open up the side wall first, surely, to try and get to site. Don't do that after you've opened up freezer wall. That's just asking to get pre-fired out of that. And I think that was a big reason why they lost, is they didn't really seem to know what kind of take they wanted to do there. This is looking unfortunate for T3H, but North Sea still holding on quite well. They're looking very, very comfortable in Cafe so far. They've been pretty regimented about their defenses, and they're doing quite well with them. Also, Ashley is just a gunner as well, just on top of all of that.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that Ashley, she seems to have perfect timing whenever she kind of wants to, both on attack and defense. She's got this perfect timing where she's able to rotate onto people and take the picks. Oh my goodness, good night. Was that a spawn peek as someone rappelled up? Where's that body?
Yep. That's unlucky.
That's the Ash off the board. That's one of their main fraggers. That's one of T3H's leading fraggers off the board going into round 9. And I think Aria going to be very happy with that one. The co-captain of North Sea Gaming, showing her team exactly how it's done. That aggressiveness that they weren't showing that much last round, coming out in force now.
T3H really not looking too good. I mean, losing your Ash, that's not a huge detriment to you. But it is definitely being off the board. I mean, I was kind of hoping there'd be another Maestro play coming out from North Sea here, but I guess the lineup that they have also makes sense. I'm not really sure how successful this Mozzie has really been, though. Like, they managed to get drones, definitely, but I'm not sure that they've really wasted times. They've died both times as the first kill. So, I guess we'll see how the rest of it does go down. But Ashley just managed to get the opening kill onto Aztec. Nice Capital off the board. That's a pretty big pick.
Lou's able to take a refrag there, which is super important. And Lemon on the Mozzie gets refragged by Midnight as well. So, these refrags back and forth have been super important for T3H because without them, they might see themselves in a far bigger detriment. They don't have the thermite left in place, so the hatch will stay intact, and this means they're going to have to push themselves through doors to make this a push, but I don't think T3H... I mean, they have enough time to get some verticality. You see the Buck still alive above, and you can see Midnight making work of it. But if I'm Aria and I'm below, I have a C4, I have, peek back potential, I have people, trying to flank. The C4 is going to miss, however, and T3H decide that red stairs is the play.
Has been dropped.
Kalisa could be playing around off the Pillars room to see what's going on. Disaster takes down Midnight, however, it's all down to Izzy to try and bring something through this. So for T3H, I was going to go for the great pre-fire. Disaster goes out of it. She does have the diffuser in control, and she does know where the site is right in front of her. We'll see how exactly this is going to go through. She has managed to find a way into the site. Doesn't seem to have a huge amount of info on where these defenders are. However, one's going to shoot at her. She's going to know that one is in dining. Could go for a plant. She's not got a lot of time left, however. Does still have a claymore in her back pocket as well. To play for that a little bit of a post plant if she does manage to get there. Plant and diffuser goes down now. Kalisa going to try to move up to try and deny this. Impact goes through to try and get a bit of an angle here. As the push comes out from the cage from the other side. Aria trying to help out her teammate right now. This is not looking good. Izzy trying to empty rounds into that wall, but unable to get the wall bang. And North Sea take round number 9 and their third consecutive defense.
NSG feeling confident with that one. I think that initial pick by Aria onto the Ash sort of ran that one off a little bit. Unfortunate that several post-entry picks also occurred in NSG and T3H. I'm very surprised because both of these teams are getting their refrags. They are putting themselves in crossfiring positioning, refrag positioning. They're doing what they're meant to be doing, but it doesn't seem like the support players of T3H at the moment are really able to have the impact they need to have. I mean, Lua, for example, on the Thermite, she needs to be getting the hatch open. She needs to get in, get the hatch open, and if she dies once it's done, well, like we said before, she's done her job, she's done her role, but it's to the detriment of T3H that they're not getting the walls open that they need. They're not getting the hatches open that they need, and they're trying to go for picks sometimes and overextending themselves a little too far.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. North Sea's defenses have just been absolutely solid so far. They've not give any gaps up to it. T3H punishing themselves, honestly. I commonly think that Siege is one of those games where it's the team that makes the least mistakes. But, if your team is making mistakes, if the enemy team is making mistakes, just let them make them. And I think that's exactly what North Sea's doing. They're playing their game quite well. T3H has made a number of mistakes, especially with how quickly they're trying to get stuff open and their roam clear. They take a very long time to try and do an actual push. And yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the time that T3H are kind of misguided with what they want to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of it comes down to them being quite an aggressive team, relying a lot on picks, whereas Cafe is not one of those maps. It's not a coastline kind of map. Border can be a very pick-heavy map as well, which is why we probably saw them do so well on Border last week. But now they've decided they're going to change it up. They're going to do a bakery push this time. They're not going to go for the white stairs. It didn't work last time. Ashley's going to be droned out multiple times. The pre-fires are going to come out. The flames come out. But no one's there to capitalize as she goes out. And also, no one's on small window, I don't think. I think Ashley's actually... Midnight's droning. She's finally there, but Ashley doesn't want to give up this position.
Yeah, definitely doesn't want to give up the position at all. Just trying to hide up but behind the bakery counter and see what she can do. This ADS still in places. This is exactly what North Sea did last time. Thatcher's not going to go out, however. That's not going to find the ADS behind bakery just yet. Really, a Capital Bolt needs to come through here, but Ashley, she's going to shut down the Capital before they can do anything about that. What a shot from Ashley yet again coming out and just still holding down onto that bakery. I don't know how T3H are going to deal with this now, because they still have nades on the table, but this ADS hasn't been destroyed.
The Thermite has a Claymore as well, so that's not going to help at all. The timing from Ashley on a Midnight. She's going to grab one. She's going to grab two. And whether or not she can grab three, this C4 from Aria is going to come out, collect Izzy. I think it's all over, James. I think this is the 7-3. It's the captain of T3H, who's looking to make a 1v5 clutch. Can she do it? She's got over a minute left to do it. Zooms her way into bakery. She's got some utility, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, what an absolute disaster for T3H. Not a single attack win coming up from them. Cafe is a map that North Sea Gaming have complete control over. I think you lost that in the map bans, honestly. Not taking them to coastline, that was definitely a good call by North Sea Gaming, even though they were pretty strong on it last week. They've definitely been practicing. Like, this is a coordinated team that has had a lot of practice. They know what they're doing. T3H definitely needs to go out to the drawing board. If they didn't want to go to Cafe, if they didn't want to know what was going on there, if they didn't want to try and fight it out there,